Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and the guy that wrote too many of these intros. You have been warned. This is Random Review.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel, and we covered half of Wave 1 of Cyberworld Cyber Changer toys yesterday. Time to cover the other half. It is Bull Megatron and Car Sky-Byte. This line is bizarre. But just as yesterday went, I will be biting the bullet and spending my money so you do not have to, so I can get to tell you exactly how these guys turned out. We are going to set Skybite aside. We are going to focus on the leader of the Decepticons, who is now taking on a very rare mammalian form. Yeah, this is interesting, to say the least. So, Megatron as a bull, similar to Optimus Prime, is kind of rough in this form. Now, he is cast this, really dark blue plastic, which is interesting. It's a different color from Megatron. Kind of works. You get this, darker gray plastic making up, the core and a lot of the engineering. And then you get the hits of the color. And the color is kind of where this toy sings a lot. The gold is doing a lot of heavy lifting to make this bull mode look good. You got the red eyes. That's appropriate for a bull. Silver down here for fists that are trying very hard to pass as hooves. Trying harder to pass as hooves is the knee hinge, which is not pulling it off. No, there's just that huge gap in the middle is just making them look like little clawed toes, and it's not quite appropriate for a bull. Also, this is a very anorexic bull. I'm going to say I'm a little bit worried about his health here. I feel like he's not going to make it to the next season. If we look on the backside, yeah, that's his robot mode legs, just folded up there. And then up here in the butt, we do have the tail, which turns into a blade. So yeah, as transformations go, yeah, this is a little bit rough. Similar to Snarl, yeah, he's not leaving anything to imagination. He's doing a bad job of disguising. And Snarl did something neat, which was to have the faux feet of the beast mode on the knees, so that all this could go straight down and be a little bit bulkier, and then also actually have actual rear feet. Here, in order to make the bull a little bit more slender, because it's not a dinosaur, yeah, they angled it here, and I don't think it looks as good. Snarl manages to just look like two thick legs in the back, whereas this one just looks like he looks like he's on all fours, just trying to find a contact lens or something. Anyway, let's get this guy transformed. I'll show you how he looks in the robot mode. That just pops off. It's attached by those two little slots here. Go ahead, and similar to Snarl you saw yesterday, he's going to transform exactly the same way, and I suspect all of the quadruped formers in this line are going to do such. I'm going to go ahead and open up the arms. There are pins that hold the arms in place in beast mode. Not that really helps, but it's there. And now for the same exact trick, I'm going to push this up diagonally in order to get all the hinges to fold in the correct direction and automorph the head. Show you again from the front. Nice, simple, clean motion. Go ahead and separate the legs there at the feet. And that's Megatron in the robot mode. So while the beast mode did not do us any favors as far as just looking like a convincing bull, this is, on the other hand, a very different and interesting take on Megatron. My one weird grievance in the beast mode, aside from, the everything, is the fact that those the shoulder horns, they don't look right going outward on the bull. I think if they were able to turn and sweep back, they would look a lot better. But again, budget toy, we aren't going to get that. Instead, we have Megatron just relying on his robot mode, similar to how Optimus did, and looking pretty good. Not going to lie. So it's a different head sculpt for Megatron. He's got the same bucket head, but he does have almost an indent around his mouth area. So like his mouth kind of sinks in, gives him a little bit more of like a almost goateed look now. The gold is doing a lot of lifting here again. At least this time, all the horns are sweeping in the right directions for the robot and making it look pretty cool and intimidating. My camera really wants to focus in on the bull head on the chest. So yeah, it's getting a little bit rough to keep things in focus. I apologize otherwise. Sculpting isn't bad on him. Like, I'll give him that. Like, for these toys might be cheap, but they're still sculpting in a lot of tech greeble, a lot of panels. He looks like a pretty good machine here. All the gold on the feet help too. I like the color balances on these a lot. Like, yeah, I feel like if this is just a standard gray Megatron, this would be a very dull figure. But, like, something about the dark blue and gold is giving him a very regal appearance. And I think the horns all being splayed out across his upper body is doing a lot of that work too. It's a good look. Weird look, but good look. Speaking of weird look, here is the part that became his tail. We're supposed to plug it in like this, and that becomes his melee weapon. Showing the hollow part on the underside, and a very tiny blade with the biggest hilt ever. Yeah, this is not convincing. This is not right. You can turn it like this and pretend like you're absolute Batman with this enormous axe. I think that actually looks a little bit better than trying to convince me that this is some kind of sword. Yeah, so it is what it is. At least he's got an accessory, right? It's better than Optimus did. Okay, let's get to the one you all want to see. It's the shark car. This, I think, immediately, like, even if you weren't down for Cyberworld as a toy line, including me, I think the idea of Sky-Byte just rocking a vehicular mode like this, not trying to be a car with a shark motif, literally just being a shark on wheels, I think this is immediately Sky-Byte levels of charming, and I think that is the most appropriate thing they could have done. So yeah, Skybite looking like a 90s Hot Wheel here, rocking his traditional blues, yellows, and the light blue across half of the Beast Mode head. He's not going for asymmetry like a Transmetal 2, so everything's just kind of even and nice across his sides. Much more akin to like a more, I don't want to say generic, but more like the Evergreen designs like that was used in Cyberverse, and like more akin to the Thrilling 30 version of the character. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I like he's got all these ports in the back that you could use. I believe that's all 5mm peg. And yeah, it just makes him look like he's got this huge engine in the back, which is kind of cool. And then here in the back, yeah, you got his he's got his claw here accessory that's ready to go. And yeah, like I like that it's incorporated into the transformation here. As far as like the vehicles go, as far as like the alt modes go in general, Skybite is nailing it. Like, it's definitely not a robot in disguise, but he's actually a far more solid alt mode than any of the others in the wave. It's kind of impressive considering he's just a shark on wheels. Okay, let's transform him now, and he does have the same little bit of automorph that the others do, but he does transform a little bit differently. So I'm going to angle these legs down just so I don't trigger automorph just yet. You can see it trying to. So I'm going to just do that just so I can get the arms out of the way first. Move those down into position. And then, yeah, his is a simple, just like lower the body down and the head pops up. So as I swing this midsection down, there goes the head. Nice and easy. Split the legs again. And that's going to be your Skybite in the robot mode. Again, simple transformations, but yeah, effective. He definitely looks the part now. So, we all love Skybite, right? We all love Skybite, and this is one of the weirder interpretations of him. We will give it that, but I don't find myself minding all that much. So, yeah, there's the head. Huge mohawk and all. Love to see it. We just always love Skybite around here, right? You gotta stand Skybite. Big toothy grin, just like the original one had too. They didn't take that out. That didn't. Cyberverse one, I believe, kept his mouth closed a lot more often. Nope. This one is ready to just run forward and catch bugs in his teeth, should he need. My one issue with this is he looks fine from this angle. Maybe the shoulders sit a little bit low for how heavy the arms are. But from here, it looks fine. Until we, that unfortunately does not look great. That is a consequence of having to come out of a smooth shark head. But yeah, that's a sloped rear head if I had ever seen one. Maybe someone could put a 5mm port thing there to fill out the rest of his skull, please. Anyway, so here we go. Same 6 points of articulation, ball joints in the hips and the shoulders, and then in the knees as well. But he has ball jointed knees, whereas everybody else has hips. So Skybite actually also has a rotational point. That gives him a little bit more work. It's still 6 points of articulation technically, but that gives him a little bit more to work with than the rest. So Skybite is already superior. But oh wait, the claw hand is on a 5mm. That's a 7th point of articulation. Everything's coming up Skybite today. It's great to see. You are going to get annoyed by the hollowing in that arm. I will warn you right now. And this one ain't much better. That's the consequence of having these huge beefcake arms. This is like the heaviest set Skybite I have ever seen. But everything else looks pretty cool. Like, he's looking pretty good. The one thing about his transformation does reveal a lot of parts that weren't visible before. Looking like his more traditional armor. Like, that's really, really cool to see. Also, I didn't point out, I love how manic his eyes look. Look at how the sculpting works. That's actually really, really cool. So yeah, I will say, because this is 5mm pegged, Skybite can just remove his hand if you want to attach anything else there, or if you want to start playing around with where this is in the vehicle mode. Can we fill out the back of his head with it? Not cool. Nah. That just makes his head look like it exploded out the back. Let's not do that to him. Let's go ahead and continue as is. So, get him right there. And that is going to be it. So before we go, we'll do the same thing we did last time. Except we're talking about Decepticons now. So I need to bring in the most vile and evil of all examples for size comparison. Wheelie. So, again, if you didn't see the last video, same is true. They're about twice the size of a core class toy for the same price. That's the consequence of having a far simpler transformation and articulation level. But that'll give you some idea, just in case you haven't seen them at a store yet. Yeah, these guys are a little big for $10 compared to what we had last time. And that's going to do it for these two. And really, like, as far as Cyberworld goes, I think I get it now. Because it's a very cheap line, because it's done at the last minute to replace Earthspark. On the other hand, because this is thrown together and the toys are designed to be as affordable as possible, this is an avenue for them to just do silly stuff, you know? Megatron's a bowl. Snarl is Junkion flavored. Skybite's a car, you know? Go crazy with it. You know, when the stakes are this low, you can get away with just about anything. So, like, the experimental weird stuff that's going to happen because of this line, that's what I'm looking forward to. So, yeah, this is actually giving me a reason to enjoy Cyberworld for what it is. I'm going to take my own advice. Enjoy it for what it is. Don't hate it for what it's not. And what it is a very rare realm Transformers gets to just be experimental. And that gives me some hope for it. So, that's the review. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.